What's going on, everyone? This is Joshua here, giving you guys my thoughts on Deep Water. This is directed by Adrian Lyne, is based off the 1952 book of the same name by Patricia Highsmith, stars Ana de Armas, Ben Affleck, Jacob Elordi, Rachel Blanchard, Little Ray Howery, and Kristen Connolly. A well-to-do husband who allows his wife to have affairs in order to avoid a divorce becomes a prime suspect in the disappearance of her lovers. This was a movie that I was intrigued by it. I'll admit, the idea was intriguing, of course, for three reasons. One is because you had Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, who was at the time they were dating as they were making the movie in 2020, but then things didn't work out that way. Then this was also Adrian Lyne's return to filmmaking after a 20-year-long absence since Unfaithful in 2002, and this was also Disney's first erotic film in 28 years since Color of Night. And I am a sucker for erotic films and also psychological thrillers, so I wanted to see what they could come up with. And at the time, this movie was supposed to come out in theaters on November 13th. Then it got pushed back to August 13th, 2021. Then it got pushed back to January of 2022. But then, in late December, it was taken off the release date schedule. And then it was reported that it would be a move to Hulu exclusive and an Amazon Prime Video release internationally. And then I became worried that this would be kind of mediocre because there was a lack of trailers, there was a lack of promotion, and unfortunately, I gotta say this was kind of disappointing. I didn't really care too much for Deep Water. I didn't hate it. I just think this movie, the best way to describe Deep Water is a waste of potential. First off, I will say that Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, they are good as Vic Van Allen and Melinda Van Allen. They're going through the process of a toxic divorce, and they live in a small town, and their marriages basically became loveless, which is held together by arrangements where, in order to avoid the divorce, Melinda is allowed to take any number of lovers as long as she does not desert her family. So I will give the movie that. And the movie does do what it set out to do, so I think those two are very good in the movie. They both do a very good job in here. I thought Ana de Armas was a big standout. She's very gorgeous in the movie. She's very sexy. She's very great in the movie. I think Ana de Armas is a great actress, and she does a good job here. Ben Affleck is Ben Affleck. You know, he's an awesome actor. He, even in his worst movie, or his not so great movie, he does a good job here. The rest of the cast, I think, are also pretty good, like Tracy Letts and Little Ray Howery and Dash Mihawk and Finn Richrock, Kristen Connolly. I think everyone, the rest of the cast, does a very good job in this role. So I can definitely say that, and they do definitely succeed in what they do. Also, from a cinematography standpoint, I do love the cinematography by L.G. Bird. It is very well shot. Movie is very well lit. You can see what's going on, and there's a lot of things that definitely goes for it in a lot of films, and it does have good visual color palette to it. From a technical aspect, I think the lighting wise and production design, costumes, and music wise by Michael Beltrami is very well done, and the movie has a good pace to it. It's an hour and 55 minutes, so it gets you in and out, and you do get what you come here for with the eroticism and the sexuality, and you definitely do get that. And I definitely feel that as you watch the movie, it's definitely there. Adrian Lyne, you could tell that he is doing a good job with what he's with his direction, even if this is not his best directed film. And Adrian Lyne has done some better movies. He's done Flashdance, 9.5 Weeks. Of course, the critically plays Fatal Attraction, which is a good movie. Jacob's Ladder, Indecent Proposal, Lolita, and Unfaithful. So he definitely knows his stuff, and he definitely knows exactly what he's going for. I will say that, and the movie does get you in and out. It gets you in and out. You know exactly what you're gonna get, and there are some tense moments here, and there's a lot of interesting ideas I think this movie plays around with. And a lot of it, I think, in a better movie with the same title and the same premise, this could have easily been one of the best. Unfortunately, where this movie struggles, personally, is the premise and the weird decisions, and especially some of the time in the second half. The movie has a lot of predictability, and it goes a lot through so many different things, and it doesn't really go full malignant in the last half. And it doesn't go into it doesn't really go into that full crazy mode. I was kind of expecting this entire movie to go in a different way as you go. And also, when it gets to the complexities and the central relationship, to me, it becomes a little baggy, and it becomes a little bit predictable, and it becomes too trashy. And when it comes to Sam Levinson writing this movie, I'm like, okay. And half the time with some of the stuff, I was kind of laughing watching this movie. And there are some things here that I thought were very interesting. You have a very interesting idea about how this relationship is very very troublesome, and how intense it gets, and how very harsh the divorce side of things get. And I haven't read the book, but I've heard about the book, and you could have the complexity of marital warfare, transgression, and obsession. I think all of that would have been made for a great film, and I think all of that would easily could have been a very amazing film. And I think the movie does the best it can with what it's trying to say, but it doesn't really aim for any of that. And when it comes to some of the eroticism stuff, I feel like the movie, I know you cannot go too far nowadays because people complain, but I also feel like with some of it, it definitely gets to a point where it's like, okay, you're just going in the most obvious twists and turns and directions. And also, I feel like this movie is a little bit too short, because this movie is only an hour and 55 minutes, right? Now, I looked it up on Google, and I think the initial runtime of this movie was supposed to be 2 hours and 33 minutes. I'm not sure if it was studio mandated or something before Fox and Disney took their name off this project, so I don't know. But something was a little fishy here, and it just kind of gets to a scenario where it just kind of gets a little bit too weird in some of the writing decisions. There's a lot of decisions here in the script that I felt like could have been easily fleshed out more dealt with more. But with that being said, I will say that the movie, like I said, I'm not saying this is a bad movie. I just feel like that a lot of this movie just, you kind of phoned this in, and you kind of just it feels like draft 1, draft 2 stuff. So definitely can feel that in a lot of this movie's areas. As I'm saying, like I'm saying, I'm not saying this is a terrible movie. I'm not saying this is a great movie. The problem that I have with this movie is that this movie is very frustrating and is very difficult for me to find anything that really kept it together. I guess I could say the one thing that did kept this movie together was Ben Affleck on Armas, and all the stuff I mentioned in the positives. But all in all, unfortunately, for me, while I definitely do respect the performances, is well shot. It has tension in here, and the third act was completely freaking nuts. And its ambitions and what you were trying to do. This is not only a frustrating film, but it is another letdown considering the performances and the cast involved, the director involved, and the interesting premise that this could have had about how being in open relationships with multiple people can take a toll on your marriage and the complexities and stuff. This easily could have been one of the best movies of 2022, but unfortunately it just wasn't. And I'm gonna say, stream it. I'm giving it a stream it on Hulu because I am being more kind on it than most people. There are good things in here, but unfortunately for me, this is just a very genuine disappointment. And this is probably a movie this is so far one of my most disappointing of 2022, right next to the Adam Project. So in the comment section down below, what did you guys think of Deeper Water? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or are you somewhere right in the middle? All my social media links to the description box down below. I'll see you guys in more videos. I'm doing the best I can right now, as you guys know my personal situation going on, but we're gonna get in full steam of things again. As always, you guys keep cool, stay epitastic, and join the Epictasticness.